look, it's already costing states like New York billions of dollars of taxpayer money to provide free housing, clothing, food, education, and health care to illegal immigrants. Then you have the situation where you have criminal aliens committing violent crimes, just as we saw a woman being burned alive on a subway by a man who was previously deported and then came back into the United States illegally.
That's Republican Representative Mike Lawler, stunning CNN host and useful establishment media puppet Abby Phillip by deconstructing her regime-issue narrative about Trump's mass deportations. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and Democrats must still be reeling from their humiliating election loss because the propaganda they've been trying to push lately has been pretty weak. Here's Abby Phillip trying to argue that we should just forget about the millions upon millions of illegals here because it might be really hard work and cost money to solve the problem.
One of the things I've heard him give a lot of interviews, and I know he understands the problem that they want to solve, but he doesn't seem to have a sense of the scope of what it's going to take, what it's going to cost. And that's a critical question.
Well, I actually had a meeting with Tom Homan the other day, along with a number of my colleagues, and we talked about this very issue. The fact is that what Tom Homan is going to do is start the process of deporting criminal aliens out of the United States. And sanctuary states and cities like New York need to cooperate. This idea that you're going to violate federal immigration law, that you're going to use taxpayer money to provide all of these free things. By the way, while Kathy Hochul in New York is charging New Yorkers $2,500 just for the privilege of driving to work in Midtown Manhattan, it's a joke. This is the stuff that needs to stop. So, yes, there is a price tag. Yes, it's going to cost money. But the reality is we cannot continue to have this massive influx of illegal immigrants coming into the country. Since Joe Biden took office, over 10.5 million people. That's unsustainable, and it's costing us billions of dollars.
Lawler did an excellent job highlighting the stupidity of her argument, but frankly, even a child could poke holes in that logic. I mean, I'm not even entirely sure the case she's trying to make. Liberals like her seem to be arguing that if an issue gets big enough, it's better for us to just ignore it than try to address it. Which is funny because you don't see those same people ever use that argument with things they care about, like open-ended environmentalism or eroding the Second Amendment. For crying out loud, the Green New Deal was estimated to cost $93 trillion over a 10-year period and $600,000 per household. Yet plenty of Democrats and liberals seem to have no problem praising AOC's horrible plan. Regardless though, this whole argument is a little moot because Trump has obviously made this a cornerstone of his campaign and has said repeatedly that no price is too high for him to fix this issue.
No price tag too big. That's how Donald Trump, who was elected Tuesday night on a wave of voter rage about the cost of things, describes his top policy priority, which is mass deportations of millions of undocumented immigrants currently in the United States. NBC News reports this, quote, President-elect Trump told NBC News on Thursday that one of his first priorities upon taking office in January would be to make the border, quote, strong and powerful. Sorry. Sometimes it is beautiful. He talks about it. When questioned about his campaign promise of mass deportations, Trump said his administration will have no choice but to carry them out. And when asked about the cost of this plan, he said, quote, it is not a question of a price tag. It is not really. We have no choice. When people have killed and murdered, when drug lords have destroyed countries, and now they're going to go back to those countries because they're not staying here, there is no price tag, end quote. But of course, there will be a price tag. And the price tag that communities all across the country are going to pay is potentially devastating to the economy. Trump is targeting 11 million undocumented immigrants. They live in every town, in every state, in every corner of the country, meaning that mass deportations will require an operation of a size and scale that may simply not even be feasible, let alone affordable.
It is absolutely insane that even in their propaganda against deportation, pretend journalists will directly acknowledge the problem but attempt to paint it as some sort of positive. I mean, even in their own biased estimates, they're admitting that there are over 11 million illegals scattered across this country that we just don't know anything about. Which, by the way, according to a Yale study, the number seems to be closer to 16 to 20 million. But regardless, the argument that many undocumented people are living in communities across America isn't a good case against mass deportation. Communities you and I live in, by the way, not Democrat elites or their puppets in establishment media, not Ivy League academics or condescending people in think tanks telling everyone else how to live. But the fact of the matter here is they seem to be arguing that it's fine to constantly infringe upon the rights of Americans and invade their privacy and overregulate them and tax them to death. But the millions of unvetted people pouring across our border are seemingly just free to come here and do whatever they want because they work for pennies on the dollar and help make subpar products and services slightly more affordable in the short term. You know, call me crazy, but that doesn't sound like a winning case for addressing this issue. But let me know what you think. Is there a price too high where you think it would no longer be worth solving this issue in this country? If so, what would it be? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. This stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!